This year, Zeekr's car sales haven't been what the company was hoping that they would be, and you would then expect that they'd be facing massive losses like Polestar. Polestar is really a sister brand to Zeekr. Zeekr, Volvo, Polestar, they're from the same parent company, Geely, and in fact, many of their cars are built in exactly the same factory. I've been to that factory, I've seen them coming off the same production line. But Zeekr's recent results were pretty staggering. Their financial results show a company that has things under control in a way you would not expect. You at least wouldn't expect it from a company, right, that just revealed the new version of the Zeekr 001, 1.3 megawatt charging. It's the fastest charging car in the world, 1,300 kilowatt charging. Means it can charge the battery in about 5 minutes from 10 to 80% with the right charger. Of course, finding the right charger is going to be hard. But anyway, it's a technological masterpiece. It's the most advanced car in the world in terms of the actual hardware in that thing. It's got a 1,000 volt architecture as well. Plus, it's got about 700 horsepower. That's the base model. 2.9 seconds, 0 to 100 for the base model in a large 5.1 meter coupe-shaped like wagon SUV. I absolutely love it. You'd think a company bringing out products like this would be spending enormous amounts of money on R&D, therefore would be making big losses like Lucid, like Polestar, and like many others in the industry. But they're not. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking, the Zeekr Group, a subsidiary of Geely. They have reported a net loss of $43 million in the third quarter, down 85% from the third quarter of 2024. So a $43 million loss means that, they lost about $14 million per month. That's peanuts. I mean, absolutely nothing. And interestingly, the Zeekr Group, as in Lynk & Co and Zeekr together, they grew their deliveries by 12.5%. R&D expenses also decreased by 8.6%, which is kind of, to me, hard to understand considering the fact that not only are they improving their vehicles faster than almost any other brand in China. I mean, they're updating their vehicles almost every 6 months. It's unbelievable how fast. In fact, customers are complaining. They're saying you're updating them too fast. I mean, I think that's awesome. But not only are they updating their vehicles really, really quickly, they're bringing out new ones. I mean, look, they've got the new 9X. They've got several new vehicles that have just come out. So they've also got the 007 GT. That's going to be made for right-hand drive markets as well, we've just found out. The group posted a net loss of $43 million in the third quarter, which was an 85% decrease versus the same month last year, and a 7% decrease from the second quarter of 2025. Excluding stock-based compensation expenses, the non-GAAP net loss for the third quarter was down 87% to even less than that, right? So, I mean, Zeekr financially are doing incredibly well, which is really a stark contrast to Polestar, who are losing billions. Kind of hard to fathom. Polestar has, the technology in Polestar's cars is great, but it's not quite at the Zeekr level, is it? When you think about charging speeds, overall power, and actually the platforms as well. So, during the third quarter, Zeekr delivered 140,000 vehicles, representing a 12.5% increase. That includes Lynk & Co, though. Zeekr itself, sales for the Zeekr brand itself actually went down. The Zeekr brand delivered 52,900 vehicles in the third quarter, down 3.9% year on year, but up 7% quarter on quarter. Lynk & Co delivered 87,000 vehicles in the third quarter, a 25% increase year on year, and a 7% increase quarter on quarter. Zeekr Group's R&D expenses for the third quarter were an 8.6% decrease and a 28% increase quarter over quarter. So they're still spending a fair bit of money on R&D and making very, very small losses, even though their car sales haven't grown, which is remarkable. It shows you a company that's very, very efficient. Maybe Polestar need to go and have a look at what Zeekr are doing. Third quarter selling general and administrative expenses totaled 3.8 billion RMB, which was an increase, up 11% year on year. It could be something to do with their international expansion. Costs would be increasing with that. The increases in expenses were primarily attributable to higher marketing and advertising expenditures to support new model launches and sales growth in external markets, said Zeekr. Gross margin for the third quarter was 19.2%, higher than the 15% recorded in the third quarter of 2024, but lower than the 20.6% achieved in the second quarter of 2025. Anyway, gross margin sitting around 20%. That's a pretty good number. That's an amazing number. Vehicle margin for the third quarter was 15.6%, up from 12.6% in the third quarter of 2024. So, I mean, really good numbers here from Zeekr. And I expect by this time next year, they will be either breaking even or potentially making a profit. They are certainly trending in that direction. If you think about it, if this is a decline in costs, a decline in losses of 88%, then they're very, very close to actually being profitable. Thanks for watching. After creating the video for this new car, I thought about this for a couple of hours, and I had to come back and do an intro because what has just happened? My brain had needed some time to really analyze this car, because this car, it makes the Tesla Model Y Performance look like an absolute ripoff. It makes the Tesla Model Y Performance seem like it is just mediocre and expensive and technologically a dinosaur, except for full self-driving. Of course, that's different. But in every other way, this makes other performance cars, other performance EVs, performance BMWs, performance Porsches, it just makes them look pedestrian. This is the best value family performance car in history, and it's not close. I mean, when I say the best value performance car, family car in history, it's up here and everyone else is down here. This sets the benchmark. There is nothing even within cooee of this car. There's nothing close to this. And I still can't believe the price for what is literally a family supercar that charges in 7 minutes. So Zeekr have revealed probably my favorite car, the updated version of the Zeekr 001. I've had more requests in person, via email, via messages for this car to come to Australia or anywhere, any other countries around the world, than any other vehicle. And it's just received a major update. It's actually now the fastest charging electric car in the world. So, I mean, this was I'd say probably my favorite car before before they had this update, and now it's just unbelievable. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking, and this is the new Zeekr 001. I tested this car in China on a racetrack, and it was amazing. The rear-wheel drive version was a lot of fun. The all-wheel drive FR version of this car, the Zeekr 001 FR, which has 1,300 horsepower and ceramic brakes, that was just ridiculous. I think it was the craziest car I've ever driven, but it was crazy and very, very under control. Did not feel scary.